yeah. Ooh, yeah.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. If you joined us on the channel yesterday, we talked about Pierre Poilievre being ejected from the House of Commons. And of course, that news has spread very quickly after Pierre Poilievre, of course, came out calling Justin Trudeau a wacko. Now, many interviews have taken place since then with political pundits, news outlets, various people in the political community, which are now, one of them, again, that was very influential in their time in the House of Commons, is calling for Greg Fergus, the Speaker of the House, as I call him, Los Speakers Hermanos, to resign and step down, that this is a very out of proportionally blown event. Now, I'm going to get into that, but one thing that always starts videos off like this in a good state is what's actually happening on Twitter. Trudeau is a wacko has been trending all over Twitter ever since this happened. And of course, who doesn't like a little good news in their lives? A little bit of happy news, because we all know that he's a wacko. We all know that he does lots to screw up the economy. But if you look over here, even guys like Viva Fry jumping on the good old podium. Poilievre gets expelled from Parliament for calling Trudeau a wacko and refusing to withdraw the comment. Trudeau invited one of the bad guys from WW2 into Parliament, called us all sorts of names like racists and misogynists and extremists. You know what the reply would have been to the House Speaker? Again, I'm not going to get into those because it does get a little elevated, but let's take a look again, just a refresher, if you missed yesterday's video, what exactly went down in the House of Commons.
22 British Columbians have died of drug overdoses, but he continues to allow those drugs to kill the people in our hospitals and on our public transit. When will we put an end to this wacko policy by this wacko Prime Minister?
No. That is not acceptable. There are a couple of things which are going on here today, which is not acceptable. And I ask all members, please, to keep themselves, to control themselves. I'm going to ask two things. One, I'm going to ask the Honourable Leader of the Opposition to withdraw that term, which is not considered parliamentary.
Mr. Speaker, I replace wacko with extremist. He is an
The honourable member to please. I'm going to ask the Leader of the Opposition once again to just withdraw that comment, please. And I'll invite the honourable member. I'm going to ask the Honourable Leader of the Opposition to please withdraw that comment and simply withdraw that comment.
I'll replace it with radical leftist policy.
I am not asking to replace. I'm asking the honourable member to just simply withdraw.
Mr. Speaker, I replace the word wacko with extremist.
I'm going to ask the Honourable Leader of the Opposition one last time to please withdraw that comment and simply withdraw that comment.
I simply withdraw and replace with the aforementioned adjective.
Mr. Poilievre, I have to name you for disregarding the authority of the chair. Pursuant to the authority granted to me by Standing Order 11, I order you to withdraw from the House and from any participation by video conference for the remainder of this day's sitting.
Now, Pierre again was removed, and I heard reports and saw video footage of other conservatives that actually got up, left. I heard rumor that all conservatives left. Again, I couldn't get verification on that. But of course, MPs like Michelle Rempel-Garnier, as well as Michael Barrett, were giving their dismay to other media outlets. And we're going to get into what was said about a former leader of another party in regards to what took place here from Greg Fergus. But as we scroll down, like you'll see here, say it because Trudeau's Liberals don't want you to. Justin Trudeau is a wacko, coming from Canada Proud. We see here the pleb put in, Justin Trudeau is a wacko. We see Marty up north, Trudeau is a wacko, showing the same video. The pleb, again, wacko is a classy and accurate way of describing Justin Trudeau. Ask the average Canadian on the street to describe him in one word. It would not have sounded that nice, I promise you. More Truth is showing wacko at 74,000 posts on number 2 trending at the time of filming this video in politics. It's crazy. I mean, even Cat Canada's posting Trudeau's a wacko. I will never withdraw that comment. For those who don't know, Greg Fergus, the man who ordered Pierre Poilievre expelled from using the word wacko to describe Justin Trudeau and his policies, is an ethics-breaching partisan Liberal cheerleader hack who needs to resign to his own wacko chicanery. Now, if we take a look here, we've covered before how Greg Fergus has been caught violating ethics rules, and calls are now out for him to resign. Now, before we head over to the article in question, I just want to remind everybody, if you're enjoying the content here, these kinds of videos get suppressed. They get shut down by Trudeau's censorship. Of course, the wacko Prime Minister himself making sure words don't get out. Although today I'm proud to announce we're actually offering new channels here added to Unacceptable Fringe. If you like the content, make sure to head out and check out our new channel, Surviving Canada, where I go over a lot of ways to save money, ways to get through the boots on our necks that we're dealing with, and how to get out of debt, how I've surmassed everything that's behind me, how I've become successful, how I've got to where I am over the last 2 years to the point where I am actually out of debt, and the only debt that I carry in my home is my mortgage. I've got lots of money saving tips for you guys, so head over there. It's going to be a great time and a great channel over there, as well as if you like the culture wars, if you like looking at woke ideologies and seeing us mash over memes, as well as a little bit of gaming content, head over to my other channel, Missing Context. You're going to find a lot of great new content dropping regularly over there as well. Now, let's head over to Thomas Mulcair, who is now requesting that Greg Fergus step down, that he should resign after ousting Pierre Poilievre from the House. Now, he was on CTV's Power Play yesterday, and he had explained that on a scale of 1 to 10, the word wacko is about a 2.5, and that Greg Fergus, of course, had no justifications for booting Pierre Poilievre out of the House of Commons, and that it's very partisan of him. And we're going to get into that, as Greg Fergus should resign from his position of House Speaker after expelling opposition leader Pierre Poilievre from question period on April 30th, says former NDP leader Thomas Mulcair, calling for more blatant partisanship, calling the move blatant partisanship. This was not only repetitious for me, but manifestly, obviously, partisan. I don't come on that lightly, said the retired politician turned political analyst during CTV's Power Play. It's an awful performance by Speaker Greg Fergus. He just lost control. Fergus should do the right thing and step down. Mr. Poilievre's removal from the House of Commons came after calling Trudeau a wacko Prime Minister of Canada, supporting BC's previous drug decriminalization policies. And again, we've seen the statistics. We've heard all about that. We don't need to delve into that further. Now, when Speaker Fergus asked him to withdraw his unparliamentary language, Mr. Poilievre said he would simply withdraw and replace the word wacko with extremist or radical. Again, very kind, very low-keyed words in terms of what Canadians would probably really like to say to Justin Trudeau, and probably more parliamentary acceptable. But Speaker Fergus subsequently ordered Mr. Poilievre to leave the House of Commons. The entire Tory caucus followed their leader out. So there you go. Now we have the verification. They did follow him out the door. Bloc leader Yves Blanchette applauded the speaker for Mr. Poilievre's expulsion, congratulating him for showing common sense. NDP House leader Peter Julian also supported the move, telling the CBC that the speaker was correct to expel Mr. Poilievre for not following Mr. Fergus's instructions. Now, this again is one thing I want to highlight, because I've been talking a lot and keep mentioning it again. The snakes, the heads of the Hydra coming out, biting each other off. This is where you're going to start to see more and more pushback. The Bloc are going to defend the Liberals. The NDP, I've heard some members of the NDP are starting to sway under Jagmeet's ridiculous reasonings for propping up Justin Trudeau. Of course, we know that's pension related, but they're starting to see a sinking ship, and we're going to see more and more that when actions like this from Pierre Poilievre come out, that MPs are going to start to turn. The Bloc has essentially signed their own death warrant. Do I think they're going to be non-party status? Absolutely not. They still have their supporters in Quebec, but they are poised to lose seats, I think, in the next election. We're going to see the NDP lose their seats the more they prop up this Liberal government, as well as Liberals, of course, being obliterated, probably to the point of being threatened in their party status as we head into a 2025 election. It says here that Mr. Mulcair noted that despite the support the Speaker received in the House from his own Liberal Party, as well as NDP in the Bloc, expelling the Conservative leader calls his credibility into question. He made a huge mistake. When Poilievre said, "I simply withdraw," he should have ended it there, Mulcair said. Instead, he went after the leader of the opposition. Unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. And that there should give you a clear understanding of the position of politics that we're in Canada right now and the corruption levels that run deep, especially with a non-partisan speaker who wants to essentially ride the back of his original party. Mulcair, who was also the leader of the opposition in the House between 2012 and 2015, said he defended Mr. Fergus when his impartiality was called into question last year. Mr. Fergus, wearing his speaker robes, made a video tribute last December to an outgoing interim leader of the Ontario Liberals at a party event. The video was recorded in his office, causing many opposition MPs to call question his impartiality in the House, which again, he's made very obvious now at this point that those were valid accusations to make. The Conservatives and the Bloc called for him to resign, but a January vote in the House allowed Mr. Fergus to keep his job as Speaker. I said it's a rookie mistake. Let him prove that he can be autonomous, independent, autonomous. Sorry, guys, I really have bad dyslexia sometimes. I really apologize. Independent and act fairly with everyone. Today he failed completely, said Mr. Mulcair, adding that Mr. Fergus cannot continue to do the job credibly. So again, as we go into further issues with what happened with Pierre Poilievre, it's going to be interesting to see as more people are now calling on Fergus to step down. Again, the Conservatives are going to push. We're not seeing much support from the other parties, but then again, tensions are going to mount and things are only going to get worse in the House as we inch closer towards summer break. And then when we get back in the fall, as we're 1 year away at that point from the next federal election, things are going to start heating up, and I think that the shots being fired are going to get more and more interesting. So while we're suffering, ladies and gentlemen, get your popcorn and enjoy the sinking ship. Try to take these little victories as we head towards the next election, knowing that the time for this clown show is hopefully, statistically at least, according to the polls, coming to an end, and we can at least get on to sunny ways, as Justin Trudeau once put, and better times. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Should Greg Fergus resign? Do you agree with Thomas Mulcair? Give me your comments down below. If you enjoyed this content, again, leave a thumbs up and a comment. It helps push us out in the algorithm. Make sure to join us here on the channel this Friday night for our weekly show, Friday Night Fringe at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, where we're going to go over everything that happened this week and everything coming up in the next week, as well as some back and forth with the community. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in those chats, and it's always the highlight of my week, and I look forward to being there as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.